Yeah.
This Tableau desktop I have.
So which version you have installed? Tableau
19.4.
19 point. Okay, fine.
Point 3 I guess.
That's fine. I mean, anything in 19 or 18 that will also work. Okay.
Then I
Uh,
have Management Studio.
mhm,
Yesterday I created a couple of DBs, and I even got a CSV file exported into this table.
mhm. So one table there,
Yeah.
coffee chain. Okay. So one thing here, Anup, just one thing here. In the table columns, you see, like, if you note it down, it's a area code. Then you have brackets,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Fact
yes.
tables. So generally, while creating tables, I mean, this is not a kind of data model. It's just a raw data, you have created. But generally in tables, don't I mean, use spaces, brackets, or any special character except underscore. That can be used, right? Or the best format for anything in SQL Server would be, like, you can use camel case. What, see, I understand that in your data you had brackets. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, once you create the SQL table, at that time, while in column names, you should avoid these things, these
Okay.
special characters in the name. That was the
Uh,
only thing.
okay, so brackets and
Hmm.
what else?
Brackets or any special character except underscore.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the table what you have created. Fine.
And this about SQL Server Management Studio I have, and then that's it. I have got database which you shared,
Hmm.
and I also have got the mail that you shared with me.
Okay. So you were sharing your screen, right? And you were showing some data
Yes.
what you have created. Yep.
Yeah, so the coffee chain sample data I had,
Hmm.
which I created. Yeah, so that's it. I didn't have anything else to show.
Okay. Same thing
Model
goes.
system
Right.
requirement we have, is this enough?
See, for this data, because there are brackets, right? We can use it. That's not a problem. How many record it has? 10,000.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. You have that data also, right? Sample superstore.
Yeah, I do have that also, and the one which you shared,
Okay.
HRSM.
So, right. I'll tell you one thing. Just open sample superstore Excel sheet. I'll come back to this data what I shared, but open the sample superstore file for now. Okay. Now copy everything from row number 2 to end, except header. Except header. Row number 2 to mhm, right. Go to row number last row. Mhm. Again, go to the last sheet. I mean last row. Yes. Paste it 3 4 times.
I guess we have close to
Okay.
how
Fine.
much
Fine.
is it?
60,000. Right. Okay. No, it's not 60,000. It is around 5 lakhs.
5 lakhs,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just,
What?
yeah.
Why does it you can't take this here because the copy? Yeah.
Just
Okay,
say
ठीक.
okay or cancel it. Fine. Go to top, first row,
Yeah.
right? Insert one more column here in the beginning and give it simple ID, serial number or ID. Give a column name as serial number. Fine. Okay. Type 1 2 3 at least in 3 rows. Okay. Now just select the complete and kind of we need to fill this column. Yeah. Double click on it. Fair enough. Now save. Now save this file.
format?
Yeah, you can do that in Excel itself. Excel, maybe if you have just one Excel workbook, that is fine.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. Now go to SQL Server. You can close that file first of all. No, that file, Excel file, which you have just saved. You can close that file. You know, right, where it is saved?
Okay.
Okay. So what we are going to do now, the data which we have in Excel, we are going to pull into. Why you are creating database every time?
Okay, because that's the process I know.
Right. So in
Okay.
within the database, you can have multiple tables, and in those tables, you can pull data, as many data or as many records you want.
Okay.
So right,
Detail. Yeah.
I can see you have created many databases here. So
Yes.
whichever database you want to use regularly, under that database, just right click on that. Right click. Okay, you have no on database itself. Database name, it is my2nd. Okay, then go to task. So I mean, before I do this, how are you kind of getting the data from Excel to SQL servers as of now?
I was doing exactly same thing. I was creating a new database and I was doing the same thing. Task and
Oh,
then
okay,
import
okay, okay.
data.
Okay,
Right?
fine.
That's the way, right?
Yeah, import data.
Just tell me if I'm
Okay.
going wrong anywhere.
No, that's fine. You need to give the path. That was expanded. Fine. And
So
next.
if I unmark this, it will not take column name, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So just to tell, I mean, both of you, Shobhit and Anup, this portion what you are doing right now. Okay. This is this was possible until 2008 SQL Server. Right. At that time, this was only possible in SQL Server. But the same functionality they have extended into SSIS, right? So whatever you do in SSIS, getting data from Excel to SQL, this is the same functionality they have extended in SSIS. And now in SSIS, not only SQL Server, sorry, Excel. Anu, can you please just click on the drop down, Microsoft Excel? No, not this drop down. The data source one, right? So these are the all the drivers which are already there on your system. So you can get data from any ODBC connection. You can get data from Oracle, SQL, or different other type of data sources.
What
So
is the SQL Server native client?
okay, so basically what happens? Native client is just a server, SQL server. Right now you are under SQL Server Management Studio. This is the
Hmm.
developer tool.
Hmm.
But when I say server, that is only the console side of database. Like in Oracle, you see, right? It's a
Hmm.
console window,
Hmm.
right? You can connect to that Oracle either in Toad, or you can connect the same into SQL Server Developer or Oracle Developer. There are different development tools, but
Hmm.
this Oracle database is mostly accessed via console window. That is the same case here. So
Okay.
native client is server, and this SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, this is a development tool.
Okay, just in the UI for a developer, and that is the server through which we connect the gateway kind of.
Exactly. Very well. Yes.
Okay. Shall I go
Yeah.
next?
Yeah. Please. Okay. So
Hmm.
what it says, Microsoft is. OLEDB provider is not registered. What is the Microsoft Excel version you have?
I think I have 16.
Okay, just see in the drop down if you're getting that.
Hmm, no.
Or try 97 and 2003. Okay, but you said that it was working earlier, isn't it?
I use CSV earlier.
Okay, okay.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was CSV file that I used earlier.
Hmm. Let's try once again. Can you just cancel it and try it again? Just go to drop down again. Excel, Microsoft Excel drop down, the top one, top one,
Hmm.
and fine. That's the only thing here. Fine, fair enough. Now,
Shall I save this file by some other name, some other format, SQL,
no, no,
Excel, other format,
yeah,
the
that we
Excel
can
file?
do. Actually, that would be our second approach. But if Excel is there, it should have worked. Okay, fine. Yeah, you can do that. You can save it as CSV or some other format, and then we'll try. So, Shobit, for any project, see, Tableau when after if you go after 5 or 6 years of experience, people will not only look for Tableau, they will look for like how you handle your data also,
Correct, correct.
right? Like
Yeah,
how you are getting data for your Tableau visualization, and then you kind of
yeah,
come up with a strategy. So that is what actually we are working on right now. It could be
correct.
any scenario, but for the first day, we are just creating our data and trying to get into SQL Server.
Shall I
So
go with this 97 2003
try that.
Excel
Yeah.
only
Yeah, sure.
because we have that option there.
Yep, yep.
Okay, this is good.
Hmm.
Shall I go next?
Yep.
Hmm, yes.
Okay. Fine. Now it is asking the destination. Fine. So again, you need to select SQL Server here. See in the drop down, select Microsoft SQL Server.
Native print.
Yeah, you can select this also. Let's go ahead with it.
Or
Yeah.
what the other options we have? I think with the
OLED
current
provider.
scenario we have that option only.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, select this only native client which you had. Yeah. See, it has already taken your database because we selected that only.
And
So
second my server name also.
yes, because we were already logged in into that server and we right clicked on that. So that's why.
Okay. Okay.
So now next,
So this is database name, right? Table name I can change.
it will give you option. See, right now we don't have table, right? It will
Mhm.
create a table as we go,
Okay, fine.
and over there you can give your name whatever you want.
Sure.
So see, there are two options. It says copy the data from one or more tables or views, or write a query to specify the data to transfer. Right now we'll go with the first one.
What is the second option?
Second one is generally when you connect to SQL Server, right? So let's say whatever table you are selecting or database you are selecting, it is not necessary that you will take the complete data. You can write your own query and then you can get filtered data or limited data,
So
right?
even in case of Excel also or
See, in case of Excel, yeah, just try that. I mean, it will give some options, but again, writing query for SQL, sorry, for Excel will not be easy. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
select that. We'll
That-
see that. Hmm.
okay.
So you should try, man. When whatever options you are getting, you should try. It will work or not, that's a different case. See, it is asking for the statement. Just try. Write it down as select a star from. Because it is star, yeah. Because it is Excel, I don't think star will work, but we'll try. What is the name of that sheet? Orders, right?
Mm, yes.
Try that. Orders or order?
Let me open the other file.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, orders.
Orders. Yeah. Give the exact name orders, and
Mm,
we'll see whether it is working or not.
just a second.
Orders. Orders. Spelling is wrong.
Mm.
Okay. Say parts. See, it says it could not be passed. It is giving the same driver error right now. Okay. So maybe you can try it later, but
Yeah, I'll
click
try
on
and
back. Yeah.
explore this.
Yeah. Click on back and select the first option.
Copy from
Then
the
next.
data one or more table or a table.
Yes. So over here it is showing all three sheets.
Hmm.
Fine. Whatever you have in the file. So maybe you can select all three. What it will do, it will create three tables in that case. Right? Now here it is giving the default name what it is going to create. If you want, you can change those names. So right now there is a dollar sign, right?
Hmm.
In the destination. You can remove that dollar sign. You can just remove the yeah, from here. Just remove the dollar sign from all three signs. Sign. Okay. And then you can see the data or edit mapping, whichever you want. You can do that.
Shall I?
It, yeah, you can try this edit mapping. So right now returns is selected. See what it says. Column information of the source and destination could not be retrieved. Do you know why?
Because of dollar sign?
No, because as of now these tables are not in the SQL servers. They are not there.
Hmm.
Right? As soon as we'll go next, then these will be created. Right now
Okay.
these tables are not there, so that's why. Yeah, you can click OK and click on preview. We'll see there also what is there. Preview data could not be retrieved. Connection for viewing your linked Microsoft Excel sheet was lost. Okay, it's a driver error only, but we'll move further. It's a driver
So
error
it's not
only.
an issue at this point of time.
Yep. Just click on next. Column information of the source destination could not be retrieved, or the data type of source columns were not mapped correctly to available in the destination provider.
Destination
Okay.
provider only
Is your
file.
did you open this file only? I mean the file which you are connecting to. No, right?
Files are closed.
That file should be closed. See, this file should be closed, which we are connecting to.
No, that is closed.
Okay.
Click on the
Uh,
other file.
okay, fine. Just click on next once again. Let's see what is there.
Shall I try percent dollar sign and see?
Okay, try that.
Yeah, it would.
Okay. So it needed dollar sign, is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I mean, these are the column names what it is going to create.
Because I
Okay.
didn't do anything else apart from dollar and it worked.
Mhm. Okay, okay, fine. But name we can remove dollar sign then later on. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Next. Okay. Right now here on this screen, you have two options. One is related to run immediately, and another one is kind of you can run later. So in the later one, what it will do basically, it will save your package as a SSIS package, right? So that next time if you want, you can execute that. So both options are there, but right now this okay file system. But let's do run immediately also because we need data immediately. Let the both options selected. Let the both options. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it will run also and it will save your file also. right?
Which one should I select? SQL Server or file system?
Okay. Actually, if we go that route, right, SQL Server, it will be a big topic, because in that case, what we will be covering, like how to deploy your packages into SQL servers, right? So yesterday you were looking in your database, right? There was integration server, and then there was integration catalog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So whatever package we have just created, it will go and get saved into that integration catalog, right? If we select SQL Server. But if we select file system, it will just save that package on your local system.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So click next. No, don't choose those options.
No.
Right. Mhm. Go to next. Yep. So this is the location where your package is going to saved. This is related to your documents, and then new package. New package is going to be the name, or if you want, you can change it. Right. Sample DTX. Okay. Fine. And then click next.
If I don't select the SSIS, this window will not come, right?
If you don't select the file system, then this window will not come.
Okay.
Right? File system, basically it is asking location in the system, like where to save. Okay. Now next, as I mean finish. So it will run for all three tables, and it has given you the number, like how many records been transferred. For two,
We
it is
have
already
five,
come. Yeah.
we have 6 lakhs of it.
Right. For two, it is already created. Okay. Now it is success. So these many rows have been transferred to your SQL Server database.
Which one? Okay, this one.
Yeah.
What is this
So
mark? Is this something issue or something?
no. Basically, this was the main task, right? Other things were the validation,
Okay.
right?
These are the
Validation
table
is
names.
correct, correct. So now you can say close and go back to your SQL Server. Go to your SQL Server, yeah, and click on tables. So these tables are here. Now you can try right click and then
Uh,
query.
just a minute. I don't remember exactly, but if I already had some table in particular database, will that overwrite or that will still be there?
That will still be there.
Okay. I
I mean,
remember I created one, not sure exactly. Okay, fine. I'll cross check later.
okay, sure.
Now what to do?
So yeah, you can see the data into orders table. Right click or write a query there. New query. So, okay, that's fine. It's a best practice to mention the database, but right now you are already there, so it should be gave.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So, Anup, I think you already connected, right? Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes, I'm back.
so you are ready with the data, correct? Now you can
Yeah,
connect to the same table into Tableau, and then you can do visualization tomorrow. Now we are switching back to the file or the data what we sent today.
sure, sure.
Right, right. For you there was a major concern of huge data, so we have created around 5 lakhs of rows, and we can, I mean, I'll give you some more data, so that you can create replica or more tables on your database, and then you
Hmm.
can do joining, blending, all those things.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so now let's move to this task what we gave, and
Hmm.
let's discuss that what exactly you guys did today on this. So yeah, so
Connected the data source you have provided
mhm.
at WM and HR interest.
Fine. So any of the visualization you have not created yet, right?
No, no, no. No
Okay.
visualization.
Okay.
Actually,
And
I just got your mail on, I think, very late something.
okay.
So,
No. Mhm. No problem.
you
Anup, what about
want,
you?
you want, you want us to create some blueprint before going, how should we proceed? Because
Okay. I actually in
normally
the
for any visualization,
Mhm.
in our developers, they used to create a blueprint and then that blueprint will get signed up by the respective teams or business users. So you want
Mhm.
to approach that way, or you just suggest
Okay.
it?
So basically, what I did, if you read my email, I
Hmm,
have written the high level requirement that exactly what points you need to work on,
hmm.
and then like what is the solution you will be proposing out of those descriptive analytics.
Okay,
So those are the steps which I wanted you to follow, right?
okay,
So that's fine. I mean, that's not an issue. But yes, we'll not be creating a blueprint kind of thing here. We'll be looking at the requirement and then accordingly we'll start from the scratch on those charts so that we can
Now,
create these charts from basic.
what do you mean by blueprint?
Blueprint basically, you can say, like, see what happens in most of the cases, like your business analyst or product owner, they give you the requirement to the development team, right? So in that case they draw a sketch or maybe some provide rough
Okay.
dashboard, and they say that we want it like this and these are the KPIs or measures those should be there in these charts. So that is what
Okay.
we call blueprint.
Blueprints or prototype.
Yeah, prototype, basically prototype only. Okay, so
So
yeah,
what
Anup, did you
I did on data is I tried to understand what kind of data is.
Mhm.
So if you can open that sheet here, whoever is sharing the screen.
Yeah, Shobit, maybe you can
okay.
just
Sheet.
no, Shobit, don't open that sheet. Let me tell you what you need to do is just go back to Tableau, right? Because most of the time, what will happen? Let's say you are connected to SQL Server or some other database. You will not be connecting to your. You will not be opening or going back to the database and opening the table, right?
We want this to be.
Exactly. Try to see the data here itself in Tableau. So either this tab on the data source, you will be able to see the data, or
Hmm.
go back to that sheet again.
Sheet. Yes.
Yeah. And near dimensions, you have those dotted lines, right?
Mm,
Dimensions, go up. Yeah. Near dimensions, you have those dotted lines. Yes.
okay.
Click on this view data. So you will be able to see that data from here itself. You need not to go anywhere. Yeah, nope. So what did you guys analyzed out of this data?
I tried understanding the data, so a couple of columns I couldn't understand. The fourth column, which says daily rate,
Hmm.
fourth column, and then there is another column by monthly rate. I couldn't understand the relation between them because what I do is I try develop a relation between the columns because once I'm able to do that, I can while creating dashboard it helps me to understand which column is dependent on which column and what insights we can take out.
Hmm.
So monthly rate and daily rate, that two thing I couldn't understand.
Okay, we have hourly rate also, monthly rate also, and daily rate also. So
Hmm.
basically, this data is based out of US, corporates, and in US generally, what happens like for most of the people, we define even in India, right? There are different type of billing models in corporate. So if it is time and money, so over there time and money contract happens. I mean, if you know the project management little bit, time and money is one of the contract wherein client says that I want these many people, right? And I'll pay this much money per hour. So it's hourly billing. So you know your hourly rate, right? Like if you work, you get $10 per hour, $15 per hour, or $7 or $8 per hour. The same thing happens for people if you are working throughout the day. What is the maximum amount or money client will pay for this particular resource. So that will be the daily rate. Like in a day, I can pay you maximum $150 or $200, right? And the same thing gets aggregated, or there could be like in a month, client can pay maximum this much amount for a particular man or resource. So I mean, if there is a direct relationship, you can simply convert your hourly rate into monthly, daily, or daily into monthly. Or it is possible that in this data we have given just the maximum cap,
Okay. No,
right?
because I tried doing the daily rate into 30, it then came out to the number which is showing into monthly rate.
Right. See, it is never. We get the salary for 30 days, but none of the billing happens like that,
Okay.
right? Wherever the rates are involved, people pay only for the productive time, and productive time is called Monday to Friday, which means 22 days.
Okay. But still, even I applied that kind of calculation, so there is no relation between hourly rate and daily rate and monthly rate. So there is kind of no
Okay.
relation. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. What else you tried?
So
No,
this attrition is the same attrition as of what people left the job. It's like people who are leaving the job.
Exactly.
Is
It's
it
the same
different?
attrition. No, no, it's the same thing.
Okay, so the inside we need to. We can have lots of insight with this data.
Hmm. Like.
Like the I can I was just saying that what how many percentage numbers of a ratio you can people are iterating with current managers like uh, job descriptions, how much of how much is the salary total salary people are, range of salary person are iterating
Hmm.
between the current I think time period is also given from there.
Right. See,
Yeah,
so let.
age can be also how much what is the range of the age that is iterating so much for this particular period and all.
Mhm. Right. So let me just give you a brief. So just do one thing. Shobit, just close this window.
Mm.
Yeah, close this window. And in Tableau, just expand this dimensions portion. Dimensions,
All
what you see, right?
which
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
just go down. Go down. Above measures, there is a line, right? Below this measure names,
okay,
right? Yep. Just fine, 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 fine. So if you look into the dimensions, these are the fields what we have in our data. Do you understand what is dimension?
yeah.
What is that?
Dimension basically this is like uh, against what you are calculating something like you are calculating profit you are calculating against some dimension that is uh, state or a region or something that will be calculated that will be called as dimensions for
Oh,
against
oh,
you calculating something I can
oh.
the exact meaning is not
Actually, I want to get that only because
uh,
in interview perspective, if you'll give this answer right, people will not be happy.
correct.
Right? Whoever will listen this will not feel good.
Mm.
Anup, what about you? What is dimension?
dimensions are categorical value on which facts are for which facts are calculated. So dimensions are something that cannot be aggregated, whereas measures are that something can be aggregated.
Right. So I would say here, like the very first line, what you said, anything which shows the categorical nature of data, that will be known as dimension.
And
Right?
are discrete in nature.
Yeah, exactly. Right? For which you can show the summary. Going back to the second line, what Shobit mentioned.
Mm.
Right? So if you just say just the two lines in an interview, that will be more than enough. So out of the dimensions, we have attrition, then we have business travel, we have department, education field, employer number, gender, job role, and many other fields. So over here, if you see, like when we say categorical, this portion tells us that whether this person got a triad or not, whether a particular record was part of attrition or not. So yes or no flag is there in the first column, right?
Where?
Then in the first column, attrition. Yeah, Shobhi, just click on that data sign once again. View
Okay,
data.
okay. I
View data.
recall.
Right. So then the next field, which is business travel. So now what happens in a company, let's say if there are different designations, different people in the leadership, so few people have flexibility, or their work nature is like that they need to travel, they don't have any option, right? When I say travel, it is related to business travel. It is not like commuting to office every day. It is business travel wherein a person need to travel because of the business. It could be domestic travel from one city to another, or it could be international travel from one country to another. Right? There you will find, I mean, that is a bitter fact in the corporate industry. You will find many people who leave job because of this travel. Because companies want you to travel during your weekend. You cannot spend time with your family. Right? So that is one of the reason. And now if you look into this data, business travel, you will find some more details. Like you will find few people who are traveling more, few people who are traveling less, few people who are traveling in the mid range. So this will also cause, or will be a factor to identify, or maybe a reason for attrition. Then you have departments. So basically departments will tell whether. So another thing is department. So department basically, in this data we have three type of departments basically. First one is related to human resource, then we have sales, and the third one is related to your third one is related to life sciences. So basically, depending a department is only a kind of relating or giving you information that depending on the nature of job what you do, right, how much it affects to the attrition, right? There could be a person who's working in a sales department and able to achieve all the targets every month. He will not resign. But there could be a person who who is also working in the same department but not able to meet the targets, right? He will prone to leave the organization very soon. Similarly, like people in the life sciences department, right? They must be getting high package. They must have a good lifestyle, but as well as because they are in life sciences department, they will have more options in the market, right? They can leave. So out of the data, you need to create such stories, and once you know these stories, then only you can go ahead and start plotting these in terms of
Yes,
charts and all, right? So are you able to relate, because these are the real life stories,
correct.
right? And this information, because right now I knew the data I'm telling you, but in
Mm,
real scenario when you're working on a project, you need to discuss all these things either with the business analyst or the product owner. Those people
correct,
are going to tell you that this data has this meaning. So until unless you will not know the business impact of a particular field, you cannot plot a correct chart.
correct.
Correct. So you need to know your data well before doing any kind of visualization. That is the
But nowadays companies, they are
mm.
using Tableau as if they are using MIS report, because they only want to. But in my company, they actually rather than preferring on the insights, they are preferring on the numbers.
see see in those scenarios. See, the same example I can tell you. Like when I started my job, I was in kind of BPO, right? IBM Daksh. So at that
Okay.
time, my reports were generally like how many people are present, how many calls they have taken, how many calls they have dropped, what is AHT, right? For them, it is
Mm,
kind of very basic insights or basic KPIs or measures what we are reporting. For them, definitely no business analyst or no one come and explain that what is the business significance of this,
mm,
right? So it depends on the nature of business. I mean, I would say. Now again, if I talk about healthcare, right, over there also, In healthcare, if I talk about just the number of patients or number of members, the total amount of premium what they pay, if reporting is on supposed to be done on that side, maybe I will not ask any business analyst or any product owner. But if I need to do an analysis on risk factors, right? What is the risk number or risk score for a particular person? Then definitely I need to talk to business analyst, because I really need to know how this how this risk score will be calculated, right?
Correct.
What are the factors affecting this risk score? So it depends on the kind of requirement. There could
Mm,
be very simple requirement. In that case, nobody will expect that you should take time. You should be immediately, you should be able, you should be in a condition that you can create dashboard within half an hour or 1 hour, right?
mm,
It depends on the requirement altogether, and and the project what you are working on.
mm,
So I mean, any data, whether you need to take the requirement from business analyst, product owner, or you are working by your own, before creating visualization you need to understand your data. That is the key. Until unless you will not understand, it doesn't matter where that requirement is coming from and how you are getting the understanding. But
correct.
without understanding, if you are creating dashboard, you will do some blunder over this. That is for sure.
Correct.
Okay. Now, similarly, over here, like education field, or like what type of education background a person has, that affects his careers, right? Somebody from Hindi medium will not be able to do good, whether he is highly technical, but they cannot showcase their skills properly. But somebody who's from convent education is able to present everything very well, whether they are non-technical, still they can present things and get good appreciation. Agree?
Agree.
Right? So that is a, I mean, that happens. Employee number is simple, the number which is given here. So it is like your employee ID, right? So you can leave it. Then gender, job role, marital status, overtime, then over 18. This is basically the flag for age. And then training times last year. How does this matters? Training times last year. In a data, how does it
Mm.
affects you?
Any time last year.
Mhm.
In respect to uh, to uh, the person who is much more interested in getting a training, he will be more skilled and he will have much more option to get a job outside.
Okay, so you are saying if person is getting a lot of trainings, he is
He
prone to
will
leave.
be more skilled.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you
Yeah,
say, Anup?
quite a possible, but I would look at it at the, if it is only on attrition part, I would see the numbers first. If
Mhm,
the person with higher training are seriously going out or not. But
mhm.
I'll first see the numbers, but probably in the same line what Shobit said, that if training has to connect with the attrition part, then it could possible reason is that they might be upscaling themselves and looking for opportunity outside.
Right.
But
See,
not the case every time, but could be possible.
correct. See, it is all about the hypothesis, right? You can
Right.
say like training could be one of the reason, like people are leaving, or other could be like person is, I mean, doesn't know anything. That's why he is attending the trainings. It could be anything, right? The way, the angle from which you look at the data, you need to kind of look into details. Then only you can prove what you are thinking of, right? So data will support your hypothesis, and if data is showing exactly what you are thinking, then definitely you can plot that here. But what I think, if somebody is attending trainings, a lot of trainings, maybe he's quite motivated for the organization, right? Any challenges what are coming, he's handling that. If not, then he's attending the training and he's going ahead with the task. So it could be anything, any hypothesis what you create. Nothing wrong or nothing right here so far. So these were the dimensions against which you can report your data on. Now, Shobit, can you please just expand measures so that we can look at the measures? Right. So we have age, we have daily rate, distance from home. So basically, this is the traveling to office every day. Then you have education, okay, employee count, then environment satisfaction, hourly rate, job involvement. You will see here like there are many people who are their hourly rate, daily rate, or monthly rate is quite high, and maybe the involvement is also very good, job involvement, but the job satisfaction is not that high, right? There you will find few people who are very satisfied with the job, but the involvement is not high. So there could be many permutation and combinations what you can apply here, right? Then you will find that there are people who have the monthly rate very less. They are towards leaving the organization. Then the number of companies they worked on. So you can find out these people are hopping in nature. They leave the organization very soon. They have already worked with 8 or 9 organizations. So that kind of trend you can plot. Yeah, scroll more. We'll see. Right. So we have percentage salary hike, like how much salary hike they got this year. What is the performance rating, relationship satisfaction. So that is their, depending on marital status. Then they have standard hours, that how many hours they are working, stock option level, total working years, work life balance. So there are number of scores they have given here, right? If you look at this data, you can draw many storylines. Agree?
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So first of all, I would say, after looking at data, just try to find out 3 or 5 or 4 or 5 storylines. First of all, write
Mm.
them down, and then try to create charts supporting your storylines,
Okay.
right? This is the task basically which I gave today. I mean, this is the same thing which I mentioned in the email also. So first of all, try to do this as a first step. Once you will draw this, you will find few exceptional cases. When I say
Mm.
exceptional cases, basically your data will be saying, okay, this is possible. If somebody is on low package, they are prone to leave the organization. But you will still find few people, let's say the people who are very new to the career, right?
Mm.
Still they are on the low package, but they are not in the attrition zone, because there would be some other factors supporting them. So
Yeah.
those type of exceptional cases will come out of the data. So looking at both pros and cons, then you need to propose your solution. So that solution, when I say like you need to propose solution, that will not be a chart. That will be basically your hypothesis, or you can provide some description. So description part you can leave right now. Let's start with the visualization only, right?
Correct.
Right. So what I would expect, I mean both of you, for tomorrow.
Mm.
So I'll tell you the basic techniques. How can you start the visualization? Right.
I have a point to ask before you go further.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Why is employee number and training time last year showing in dimension?
See, if you look at both the fields, what you just mentioned, they have a sign of numerical, right? Hash sign,
Hmm.
right? These are the distinct numbers. Now, with distinct numbers, I mean, you can say it's a kind of their behavior. Because these you cannot aggregate until unless you convert them into continuous nature. So you can keep them in dimensions, as well as, I mean, if you want to drag, you can drag them into measure side also. There will not be any issue,
Okay, so you
right?
mean to say they are measures, but they are discrete in nature. That's why they are showing in dimension.
See, training times last year, I can say that this is a measure for sure. But
Hmm.
if you say like employee number is a measure, then I can contradict. The reason being, employee number is nothing. It is just as a identification for a employee. It's like
Yeah,
employee
yeah.
ID, right?
Employee.
So though it is numeric in nature, but there will not be any use if you move it into measures.
Yes, yes, true.
Correct?
Understood.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing, if you see in properly the hash sign, what is there with the employee number or training last year, it will be blue in color.
Hmm.
But hash sign what you have in measures, that will be of green color, right?
Got it.
That represents anything which is in the green color and hash sign, that will be a continuous measure, and anything which has blue sign, that will be distinct. But what is the difference between distinct and continuous?
So continuous data, as per my understanding, uh, which is continuous in nature. Say if I say month, I have data of for from 1 to 30. That becomes a continuous data. But when I say discrete, that
Mhm.
month will get divided into weeks of 5 weeks. So that's my understanding of discrete and continuous.
Mm, I mean, your definition is right, but example doesn't suits well.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Any other example?
No.
Or in, okay. Let me explain. In mathematical terms, I think we must have kind of read continuous and distinct in, I think, ninth, eighth, or ninth class, right? So what happens? The definition in eighth or ninth class you will get like continuous number can be infinite between 0 and 1, right? I mean, tell me if you are able to relate. If not, then I'll explain. There can be infinite numbers between 0 and 1,
Yeah.
right? Any number, any number of that nature will be called as continuous. But if I say distinct, you will not find anything between 0 and 1. For an example, if I say in a training room there are 5 people, right? 5 people, which means it is a distinct number, five number, right? You
Mm.
can you cannot say that there are 5.5 people in the room. Can you say that?
No.
Right? That's not possible.
Mm.
So the number of people is always a distinct number. It can never be a continuous number. But yes, I can say that I have 5.5 rupees in my pocket, right?
Mm.
Or another, again, if I say rupee, then it is, then it somewhere it is right, right? Anything which can be represented in decimal, that will be a continuous, right? Or if anything which cannot be represented in decimal will be a distinct,
Mm.
right?
But how Tableau calculates it?
Can you repeat that?
How Tableau is calculating it in order to get this dimension and other?
Okay, just go back to the data source tab. Okay, over here, as soon as you connect to your data, right?
Mm.
Whatever logic these guys have put, the Tableau people, depending on that logic, Tableau automatically identifies the data type, right?
Like,
But but it gives you option that if Tableau has done it wrong, you can change it. Not this
mm,
icon, the hash icon, what you see there. Just click on that
yeah,
hash icon, right? Just click on it.
yeah.
So you will see all other data types, right?
Mm,
So you can see it says number decimal and number whole. So if it is
mm,
number whole, right, it will
mm.
tend to be a distinct number. And if it is
Correct.
decimal, then obviously it is continuous,
Okay.
right? So depending on the occurrences, Tableau will identify. If any number has a decimal point or let's say zero, something like that, it will automatically put that in decimals. And if it doesn't have any occurrence of decimal, it will put into whole number.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
explain this concept in terms of dates? Because even if we, for this database, we don't have, but
Mhm.
in order table we have order ID date, that thing. When you
Right.
put that, we have options of continuous data and date and discrete date. So can you explain that part?
Yeah, yeah, sure. See, so what happens if you see like as soon as you connect your data, date comes into dimensions only. It never goes
Ah,
into measures, right?
yes.
Now, what happens when we say date? See, in Tableau there is a concept of date name and date value.
Hmm.
You have
So
seen that, right?
I've just changed that dashboard to sample superstore.
I didn't get what you're trying to say.
No, he was asking, Nanu was asking, na, ki, could
Okay,
you
okay, okay.
relate with the sample superstore? So that is why.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So
You can
over here,
drag the
if
order bit into column.
yeah, just drag that date into
Order
columns.
bit.
Yeah,
This.
columns, column cells. Yeah, and if you right click, just drag the date, and then if you right click over here, yep, over here, right click, it will show both. Uh, where is that? Discrete and continuous.
Hmm.
Right. So if it is in year format, right, and basically just look into these two first of all. Uh, Below the show missing values, right, you have year, that is 2015, quarter as Q2, month as May, and if you go in the segment below that, again you have year, quarter, month, but the values are little different. Do you see
Hmm.
that?
Hmm.
Right. So, so the next one is kind of exact values what it is showing, exact value of the date,
So if I
whereas
click on second quarter, it will only show quarter for that particular
year.
year.
Yes. Right. So if you say quarter, right, if you're just telling the quarter, it is just the uh, date name, it's not a date value. But the second one is basically the date value because it is a specific date you're talking about.
Hmm.
Similarly, in case of continuous, what happens, like just select the continuous also, we'll see that how it is changing. Right now the discrete is selected, just select the continuous. See what happened, nothing has changed. Simply it is showing in the trend, basically the data got converted into kind of a measure, and you are seeing that your year is plotted right now. You can plot those dates in the kind of trend format, right? So it basically shows as soon as you convert anything in continuous, it will it will get into a series, it will get converted into a series of, order, whether it is ascending order or descending order. So that's a difference. But in case of discrete, you will have, like, in case, like, let's say your date is in discrete format and you try to put it into trend or sort it, it will get, sorted in form of your alphabetical nature, or if it is numeric, it will be in ascending or descending,
Okay.
right? But for our visualization, do you know which one we use a lot?
Or continuous.
No, until unless you are not working on a trend line or time series analysis,
Hmm.
right? Until
Hmm.
unless you are not doing time series analysis, you will be using discrete only,
That's made on the couch. Hmm.
right? But if you are planning to do time series analysis, then you can use continuous, it will give
Right.
the better results.
Okay.
Okay, but what is time series analysis?
Like time series the analysis with in between the time zone. Uh, I think 9 to 9.
9 to 9. Okay,
That I
Anup,
don't. I'm just
any
guessing it.
no, no, that's fine, that's fine, no worries. Anup, any would you like to add anything here?
Time series analysis, I don't know the concept, but if I go by name,
Mhm.
I would compare year on year data, and I'll see how the performance is going up and down. Year
Exactly.
on year, month on month, quarter on quarter kind of thing.
Exactly. In simple words, we call it time series analysis as trend analysis.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, Shobit, just do one thing. You already have year over there. Just take the sales or profit field and put it into rows. Sales or profit, put it into rows. Right. And now go at the year once again. No, just put one field right now. We'll do two fields later on. Now, yes. So just first of all select month. Yes. Right. So what do you see here? You are getting
Month wise
Jan,
trading.
Feb, right? You are getting month wise trending. But if I ask a simple question, both of you, is
Hmm.
it correct? Is it correct? Is it showing the correct data?
Data is showing correct, but
Mhm.
for which particular it is showing, I am not aware.
I didn't get for which particular means.
I think it is showing data for all year combined together.
Okay, okay, got
If
it,
I
got
have
it.
5 years,
Yes,
all 5 years combined January data is showing at one point.
right. So that is the thing which is wrong here. You have converted into months, that's fine. But what it has done, it has aggregated data of month for all the years. So in January, it shows data for all the Januaries falling into different years, right?
Mm.
We don't have the year categorization here.
Okay.
So right, so select another month. Just go back there. You have one more month. Come down, come down. Yep, this one month. So the current value which we had selected earlier, that was the date name, right? And date name will not tell you whether it is related to a particular year. I mean, which year? But date value will tell you that which year it belongs to.
Okay,
Okay,
I
so
got clarity, more
right, so
clarity. Yeah.
this is the trend starting from 2015 to 2019. Shobit, is it clear?
Yeah.
Right. Let's do one thing here. Press your control. I mean, hold your control button.
Mm.
Sell. Take this sum of sales from the rows
Okay.
and drag it to the size
So,
pill, which is right here by holding control button. Okay, and click on labels. Label. Select show mark labels. That checkbox at the top. Okay. Maybe go to fonts. In the same, there's a text and then font. Change this 9 to 7. Just type 7 over there. You will not get option there.
yeah.
Enter. Right.
Generally, what the font we need to take and what are the size we need to take?
See, for labels, I take 7. That's why I told you, because what happens
Mm.
for labels, it should be small but visible, right?
Okay.
But for titles, if you say titles, I take 12. Title of sheet, I take 12. And for dashboard title, I take around 20, 22. So these are the standards what I follow, right?
Okay.
Again, you need to see in your organization that what
Yeah, it
standard they
depends on
have.
different organization or
Exactly,
font.
because each organizations have different color branding, different type of font standards. So it depends. But this is what I follow: like 7 for labels, 12 for sheet titles, and 22 for dashboard titles.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Now, so for this visualization, was it tough or was it straightforward?
No.
Right. Now, in order to start, right, both of you, this is the last thing I'm telling today. Just
Mm.
click on that show me option.
Show me.
You go right top, yeah,
Mm.
right. So over here, what happens, like as soon as you will select any dimension and measure,
Mm. It
some of the chart,
automatically.
right, some of the charts will be enabled and some of the charts will be disabled,
Yeah.
right? So depending on the nature of your measure and dimension, Tableau suggests that this is the chart which is possible, which is not possible.
Right.
Correct. So
Mm.
you need to, before creating your chart, you need to see that, because using the distinct, if you are going to create some trend analysis, that will kind of ruin the purpose. So for trend analysis should always be done with the continuous fields like sales we have here.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
before we drop, I would say go back to my email again, read the problem statements, and accordingly try to plot some graphs or charts. Right. Yeah, you can open that email. We can discuss if you have any question on that.
Okay.
Not in this email. There was another email which I sent. Yeah,
Project one.
right. So over here, I have mentioned data overview. First of all, you need to understand your data. You need to find out the root cause analysis. So basically, you need to create those storylines, right? If
Mm.
possible, drop the trends against those and then propose the solution, right? Under solutions, you need to see these things. I mean, solutioning basically, I mentioned the technical part and how would you do it. So, first thing we have already done SQL Server, I mean, data source, Excel or SQL, we have already done that.
Correct.
Uh, you understand the connection type extract or live,
Nice.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think both of you know that, right? So that's why I didn't cover that.
Mm.
Charts to use, choose, and why. So that is what I just mentioned. Like you need to go through it. We can discuss it further tomorrow, right? Like
Okay.
for a particular scenario, which chart to be chosen and why. And then alternate theories. So basically, let's say if you say like low package is one of the reason for leaving job, there could be some other scenarios against it. So those type of discovery we need to do out of data, right? So
Okay.
first of all, focus on these 2 points: discovery analytics and RCA problem areas.
Okay.
Rest we'll see tomorrow. Okay, but
Okay.
please make sure that you create something. I need at least 6 charts, not 6 charts. Try to plot 3 scenarios, and each scenario should have at least three charts. So nine charts I need from both
Okay.
of you.
Okay.
Sorry, three
Okay,
scenario and each scenario three charts.
three charts, yeah. And don't use bar chart in all the charts, right? Try to use different charts.
Okay.
Okay, just try to work on it, and tomorrow we'll kind of discuss one by one both the charts which we'll create. Right now I'm not focusing on dashboards. First of all, create individual charts. We'll once charts are ready, we'll create dashboards together.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right then. Any questions before we drop?
No.
No, nothing else.
Okay. All right then. See you tomorrow then at the same time. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.